Take a moment and think about this. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in, it will grow. But here's the thing most people never realize: weeds will grow automatically. Success, happiness, achievement. Those need to be planted deliberately. I want to share something powerful with you today. Your thoughts aren't just thoughts, they're seeds of your future reality. Every single day you're planting these seeds, whether you realize it or not. You see, I learned this the hard way. I used to let my mind run wild like an untamed horse. My thoughts would gallop from worry to fear, from doubt to negativity. And guess what happened? My life reflected exactly that chaos. Let me tell you something that changed everything for me. One day I realized that discipline isn't just about controlling actions, it's about controlling the thoughts that create those actions. Think about this. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can let your mind wander wherever it wants, or you can take control and direct it where you want it to go. Here's what most people don't understand. Your thoughts are like a river. They're always flowing. You can't stop them completely, but you can choose their direction. I've spent years studying successful people, and I've noticed something fascinating. They all have one thing in common: they're masters of their mental world. They don't let random thoughts control their day. Let me share a powerful technique with you. Every morning before you start your day, take 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes to program your mind. Ask yourself, what thoughts will serve me today? You see, most people wake up and immediately check their phone, immediately letting the world dump its thoughts into their mind. That's like leaving your garden gate open and letting anyone throw whatever seeds they want in there. Here's what happens when you don't discipline your thoughts: you become reactive instead of proactive. You let circumstances control you instead of you controlling circumstances. I remember when I first started practicing thought discipline, it wasn't easy. My mind would resist like a stubborn child. But here's what I learned: persistence is more powerful than resistance. Think about this. Every thought you have is either moving you toward your goals or away from them. There's no neutral ground in the battlefield of the mind. Let me tell you about what I call the mental diet. Just like you're careful about what you put into your body, you need to be careful about what you put into your mind. Most people consume mental junk food all day long: negative news, pointless complaints, unproductive conversations. Then they wonder why they don't feel mentally strong. Here's a powerful truth. Your life moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts. Whatever you think about most will multiply in your life. I want you to understand something crucial. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about progression. You won't control every thought, but you can control the direction of your thinking. Let me share with you what I call the thought replacement technique. When a negative thought comes in, don't fight it. Instead, immediately replace it with a productive one. You see, the mind can't hold two thoughts at the same time. It's like trying to sit in two chairs at once. It's impossible. You have to choose one. Here's what most people don't realize: your thoughts create your emotions create your actions, and your actions and your actions and your life. It's a chain reaction. I want you to think about this. Every great achievement in human history started with a thought. Someone dared to think differently, to discipline their mind to focus on possibility instead of limitation. Let me tell you about what I call the mental momentum. When you consistently direct your thoughts in a positive direction, it becomes easier over time. Your mind develops new pathways. Most people give up too soon. They try to discipline their thoughts for a day or two, then fall back into old patterns. But here's the truth: it takes time to reprogram your thinking. Think about this. Your mind is like a computer. The thoughts you consistently think are like the software you're running. If you don't like the output, you need to change the program. Let me share something powerful with you. Your thoughts are not you. You are the observer of your thoughts. This means you have the power to choose which thoughts to entertain and which to dismiss. Here's what happens when you start disciplining your thoughts. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You start finding solutions where others find problems. I want you to understand something crucial. The quality of your life is directly related to the quality of your thoughts. Change your thoughts and you change your life. Let me tell you about what I discovered about the power of focused thinking. When you concentrate your thoughts on what you want rather than what you don't want, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes like a laser beam, cutting through obstacles. You see, most people's thoughts are scattered like buckshot. They're thinking about their problems, their past mistakes, their fears about the future, all at the same time. That's not thinking, that's mental chaos. Here's what I learned about mental discipline. It's like building a muscle. At first it's uncomfortable. Your mind will resist. It will try to go back to its old, undisciplined ways. But every time you bring it back to focus, you're getting stronger. Think about this. Every time you catch yourself thinking a negative thought and consciously change it, you're rewiring your brain. You're literally creating new neural pathways. Let me share something powerful about the morning hours. The first hour of your day is like the rudder of a ship. It sets the direction for everything that follows. That's why it's crucial to guard your thoughts, especially during this time. Most people don't realize that their inner dialogue shapes their destiny. Every time you say, "I can't," or "it's too hard," you're programming your mind for failure. Every time you say, "I can and I will find a way," you're programming it for success. Here's what happens when you start practicing mental discipline. You begin to notice patterns. You start seeing how certain thoughts lead to certain emotions, which lead to certain actions. I want you to understand something crucial about success. It's not about having no negative thoughts. It's about not letting those negative thoughts take root and grow. Think about this. Your mind is like a theater. Thoughts are like actors that come on stage. You're the director. You get to decide which actors stay and which ones need to leave. Let me tell you about what I call the mental environment. Just like you create a physical environment that supports your goals, you need to create a mental environment that supports success. Most people let their minds become like a cluttered room filled with worries, doubts, and fears. But when you practice mental discipline, you keep your mental space clean and organized. Here's what I discovered about productivity. It's not about managing time, it's about managing thoughts. When your thoughts are focused and disciplined, you accomplish more in less time. Think about this. Every great invention, every business success, every personal achievement started with a disciplined thought process. Someone decided to focus their mental energy in a specific direction. Let me share something powerful about decision making. When your thoughts are disciplined, your decisions become clearer. You're not swayed by every emotion or opinion that comes your way. Most people don't realize that mental discipline is the foundation of emotional intelligence. When you can control your thoughts, you can control your emotional reactions. Here's what happens when you master thought discipline. You become proactive instead of reactive. You're no longer at the mercy of circumstances because you choose how to think about those circumstances. I want you to understand something about mental strength. It's built through small, daily choices. Every time you choose a productive thought over a destructive one, you're getting stronger. Think about this. Your thoughts are like a magnifying glass. Whatever you focus on becomes bigger in your life. That's why it's crucial to focus on solutions rather than problems. Let me tell you about what I call the success cycle. It starts with a disciplined thought, which leads to a positive emotion, which leads to productive action, which leads to favorable results. Most people don't realize that their current circumstances are the result of their past thinking patterns. If you want different results, you need to establish different thinking patterns. Here's what I learned about mental clarity. It comes from consistent thought discipline. When you regularly clear your mind of unproductive thoughts, solutions come more easily. Think about this. Every moment you spend dwelling on the past or worrying about the future is a moment you could be using to create a better present. Let me share something powerful about persistence. It's not just about actions, it's about maintaining disciplined thoughts, even when results aren't immediate. Most people give up on their goals not because of external obstacles, but because they let their thoughts become scattered and unfocused. Here's what happens when you maintain thought discipline. You develop what I call mental momentum. Each positive thought builds on the previous one, creating unstoppable force. I want you to understand something about transformation. It always begins with a shift in thinking. When you change your thoughts, you change your perception, and when you change your perception, you change your reality. Think about this. Your thoughts are like seeds, but your attention is like water and sunlight. Whatever thoughts you attend to will grow and multiply in your life. Let me tell you about the power of focused intention. When I discovered this principle, everything changed. Each morning, before the world starts making demands on your time, take a moment to set your mental agenda. You see, most people wake up and immediately react to life. Their thoughts are pulled in 100 different directions. But when you discipline your mind, you decide where your mental energy goes. Here's something crucial I've learned. Success leaves clues in your thinking patterns. When you look back at your achievements, you'll notice they all started with disciplined, focused thoughts. Think about this. Every single day, you have approximately 60,000 thoughts. That's 60,000 opportunities to move toward success or away from it. Each thought is a choice. Let me share what happens when you master mental discipline. Your energy changes. People start noticing something different about you. They can't quite put their finger on it, but they can sense your mental strength. Most people live their entire lives never realizing that their thoughts are creating their experience. They think life is happening to them when really life is responding to their thinking. Here's what I discovered about mental clarity. It's not about having no thoughts. It's about having the right thoughts at the right time. It's about mental precision. I want you to understand something about achievement. It's not just about working hard. It's about thinking hard in the right direction. Mental laziness is the biggest obstacle to success. Think about this. Your mind is like a high-performance car. You can have the most powerful engine in the world, but if you don't know how to steer, you'll never reach your destination. Let me tell you about what I call the mental success sequence. First, you discipline your thoughts. Then your emotions fall in line. Finally, your actions naturally follow. Most people try to change their lives by changing their actions first, but that's like trying to steer a car by pushing it from behind. The power has to come from the engine, your thoughts. Here's what happens when you develop mental discipline. You start seeing opportunities that were always there, but you were too distracted to notice. Think about this. Every great achievement began with a single disciplined thought that was nurtured, protected, and developed until it became reality. Let me share something powerful about focus. When you discipline your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems, you'll find that solutions begin appearing almost magically. Most people spend their mental energy reliving the past or worrying about the future. But mental discipline keeps you focused on the present moment where real power lies. Here's what I learned about mental strength. It's not about never having a negative thought. It's about having the discipline to replace negative thoughts with productive ones immediately. I want you to understand something about personal power. It begins in your mind. When you can control your thoughts, you can control your destiny. Think about this. Your thoughts are like a steering wheel. They determine the direction of your life. But most people let their thoughts spin randomly like a wheel without a driver. Let me tell you about what I call the mental elevation principle. Each time you choose a higher thought over a lower one, you're literally elevating your life. Most people don't realize that mental discipline isn't just about positive thinking. It's about strategic thinking. It's about thinking the thoughts that move you toward your goals. Here's what happens when you maintain thought discipline. You develop what I call mental immunity. You become less affected by negative circumstances and other people's opinions. Think about this. Every moment of your life, you're either practicing mental discipline or mental laziness. There's no middle ground. Let me share something powerful about decision making. When your thoughts are disciplined, your decisions become clearer and more confident. Most people let their thoughts run on autopilot, then wonder why they keep getting the same results. Mental discipline is about taking control of the autopilot. Here's what I discovered about productivity. It's directly linked to thought discipline. When your thoughts are focused, your actions become more efficient. I want you to understand something about transformation. It's not an event, it's a process. And it begins with disciplining your thoughts, one thought at a time. Think about this. Your thoughts are like building blocks. Each disciplined thought is laying the foundation for your future success. Let me tell you about what I call the mental momentum factor. When you consistently discipline your thoughts, you create a force that becomes almost unstoppable. You see, I've noticed something fascinating about success. It's not the big decisions that make the difference. It's the small, moment-by-moment thought choices we make every day. Here's what most people don't understand about mental discipline. It's not about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts. It's about training your mind to automatically seek productive perspectives. Think about this. Every challenge you face is neutral until you assign it meaning through your thoughts. The same situation can be a disaster or an opportunity, depending on how you think about it. Let me share something powerful about mental habits. Just like physical habits, mental habits can either serve you or sabotage you. The key is to become aware of your thought patterns. Most people live their entire lives on mental autopilot, letting their thoughts be dictated by circumstances, media, and other people's opinions. But that's like letting everyone else drive your car. Here's what happens when you develop strong mental discipline. You start to notice an interesting shift. Problems that used to overwhelm you begin to look more like challenges to overcome. I want you to understand something about personal growth. It's impossible to grow beyond your current thought patterns without first developing mental discipline. Think about this. Your mind is like a powerful computer, but your thoughts are the programming. No matter how powerful the computer, if the programming is faulty, the results will be too. Let me tell you about what I call the mental elevation process. Each time you catch yourself in negative thinking and consciously shift to productive thinking, you're climbing higher. Most people don't realize that success is not about having no negative thoughts. It's about having the discipline to not let negative thoughts take root and grow. Here's what I discovered about achievement. It's not the external obstacles that hold most people back, it's their internal thought patterns. Think about this. Every single achievement in your life started with a thought. Every failure also started with a thought. Your thoughts are the seeds of your reality. Let me share something powerful about focus. When you discipline your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems, you'll find that solutions begin appearing almost magically. Most people let their thoughts bounce around like a pinball, driven by whatever happens to hit them. But mental discipline is about directing your thoughts with purpose. Here's what happens when you master thought discipline. You develop what I call mental resilience. Setbacks that would have devastated you before become temporary obstacles to overcome. I want you to understand something about success. It's not about having extraordinary thoughts. It's about thinking ordinary thoughts with extraordinary discipline and consistency. Think about this. Your thoughts are like a magnifying glass. Whatever you focus on becomes bigger in your life. That's why mental discipline is so crucial. Let me tell you about what I call the mental success sequence. First comes the disciplined thought, then the emotional alignment, then the inspired action, and finally the result. Most people try to change their results without first changing their thinking. That's like trying to grow different fruits without changing the seeds you're planting. Here's what I learned about personal power. It's directly proportional to your ability to control your thoughts. The more mental discipline you develop, the more powerful you become. Think about this. Every moment of your life, you're either strengthening or weakening your mental discipline. There's no neutral ground. Let me share something powerful about decision making. When your thoughts are disciplined, your decisions become clearer and more aligned with your goals. Most people let their thoughts be driven by their emotions, but mental discipline is about learning to drive your emotions through your thoughts. Here's what happens when you maintain strong thought discipline. You develop what I call mental momentum. Each disciplined thought makes the next one easier. I want you to understand something about transformation. It's not about forcing change. It's about consistently directing your thoughts toward your desired outcome. Think about this. Your mind is like a garden. You can either let weeds grow randomly, or you can carefully cultivate the thoughts that will produce the results you want. Let me tell you about what I call the mental mastery principle. It's something I discovered after years of studying success patterns. Every significant breakthrough begins with a breakthrough in thinking. You see, most people are walking around with their mental autopilot set to survival mode. They're just trying to get through the day. But when you discipline your thoughts, you switch to thrive mode. Here's what I've noticed about extraordinary achievers. They don't just think differently, they think deliberately. Every thought is like an investment in their future. Think about this. Your mind is like an endless conveyor belt of thoughts. Most people let whatever shows up on that belt pass right through. But mental discipline is about carefully selecting which thoughts you'll keep. Let me share something powerful about mental energy. Just like physical energy, mental energy is finite. Where you direct your thoughts is where you direct your power. Most people waste their mental energy on things they can't control, on past regrets or on future fears. But when you discipline your thoughts, you focus that energy on what matters most. Here's what happens when you develop strong mental discipline. You start experiencing what I call thought leverage. One disciplined thought leads to another, creating a cascade of positive outcomes. I want you to understand something about success. It's not about having extraordinary capabilities. It's about applying ordinary capabilities with extraordinary mental discipline. Think about this. Every thought you allow to occupy your mind is either paying rent by contributing to your success, or it's a squatter stealing your mental real estate. Let me tell you about what I call the mental alignment process. When your thoughts are disciplined, your emotions naturally align, your actions follow suit, and your results improve automatically. Most people try to force themselves to take action while their thoughts are pulling them in the opposite direction. That's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. Here's what I discovered about personal transformation. It's not about changing who you are. It's about disciplining your thoughts to align with who you want to become. Think about this. Every moment of your life, you're either practicing mental discipline or mental laziness. These small choices compound over time to create your reality. Let me share something powerful about focus. When you discipline your mind to focus on opportunities instead of obstacles, you'll find that opportunities multiply. Most people let their thoughts drift like a boat without a rudder, then wonder why they never reach their destination. Mental discipline is about taking control of that rudder. Here's what happens when you maintain consistent thought discipline. You develop what I call mental momentum. Each disciplined thought makes the next one easier. I want you to understand something about achievement. It's not just about working hard. It's about thinking hard in the right direction. Mental laziness is the biggest obstacle to success. Think about this. Your thoughts are like seeds that you're constantly planting in the garden of your mind. Every thought will eventually bear fruit, either sweet or bitter. Let me tell you about what I call the mental elevation principle. Each time you choose a higher thought over a lower one, you're literally elevating your life. Most people don't realize that mental discipline isn't just about positive thinking. It's about strategic thinking. It's about thinking the thoughts that move you toward your goals. Here's what I learned about success. It's not about never having negative thoughts. It's about having the discipline to replace negative thoughts with productive ones immediately. Think about this. Your thoughts are like a steering wheel. They determine the direction of your life. But most people let their thoughts spin randomly like a wheel without a driver. Let me share something powerful about personal power. It begins in your mind. When you can control your thoughts, you can control your destiny. Most people spend their mental energy reliving the past or worrying about the future. But mental discipline keeps you focused on the present moment where real power lies. Here's what happens when you develop mental discipline. You start seeing opportunities that were always there, but you were too distracted to notice.